As a Canadian, when I was applying for my status as a worker, uh, coming to Canada to come to the US and start working and processing my licensing and everything. As right now, uh, I did everything. I got my status and I got my license in California. But I'm going to give you some tips, uh, not as a lawyer, just as an applicant, because I did it myself, and there was many problem uh, during the processing and getting a right advice and consultation. I think is the best things you need, and the most important things you need. Uh, for Canadians, as you know, we are, when we want to apply for US immigration, getting any status, temporary status or permanent status, there are some options, especially for temporary. Under USMCA agreement, which is a NAFTA agreement, uh, Canadian, US citizen, and Mexican, we have some options beside any general categories, general options for immigration and visa categories. For Canadian, uh, when we want to apply for work permit or worker visa, uh, we need to consider one of the most important things, which is you can apply for work permit at the port of entry or inspection point, which is in Canada, inside Canada. For example, if you're flying from Toronto to the US, the inspection point for US, it's inside the US airport, inside the Canadian airport, inside the Pearson airport, for example. So if you have all your documents ready, and hopefully you have someone who can speak for you, then that will be the best scenario for you, because you'll get your status as a worker. You change as from visitor to, because you can enter US as a B1 or B2 without anything, just coming and at the port of entry, and you say, I'm visiting, I'm doing business, and you will get that kind of visa stamp in your passport and you enter. But as a worker, it's a different story. So you need to be prepared. You should have lots of documents before, then you can apply um, at the port of entry. So when I was consulting with many U.S. immigration attorney at the time, like five years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, so I was an attorney. I wasn't licensed in U.S. at the time. Um, so I was seeking somebody else to help me for my U.S. immigration, and most of them, they didn't say anything about the option specifically for Canadians. Most of them, they just refer and referencing other things, like any general categories. Uh, and the most important point is, for example, for E2 visa, it's generally you cannot apply at the port of entry for E2 visa, based on my knowledge. But for example, for category like TN or for L1, you can apply. And it's different story. So the best thing is you need to know what's the real option for you, and why usually U.S. immigration attorney, they are sitting in the U.S. They don't advise you to get your visa or worker visa or a status through the port of the entry. The the reason is main reason is they are not there. They are sitting in the US. They are not with you in Canada at the airport. So I think this can be one of my advantage now because I'm licensed in Ontario and US and Canada immigration, both of them are federal. When you get licensed in Canada and US anywhere, you can practice immigration anywhere. So my point is having someone who's licensed uh, to support you through the processing at the port of the entry, that can be very helpful in terms of processing and in terms of being someone supporting you. So I think that was a one point. The second point is the next level, next stage after you get the work permit. What will be your option, how you become a green card holder, how you can adjust your status and become permanent resident of US. I saw a false marketing and some misleading information in the market. For example, people say you get E2 visa first and then apply for a green card through EB5, which is the investment through the $1 million or less investment, and they are falsely advising the part of the money you invest in a E2 can be used for the EB5. It is not true. It is not true because that these are like 100% separate things. E2 is you investing in a money in your own business as an entrepreneur or as an investor. That's one thing. But for EB5, it's a different thing. EB5, you're giving your money, you're investing like 850,000 a minimum or $1 million in region project, which is approved by USCIS for EB5 project program. So it's different. It's not the same thing. So E2 is a good visa, it's a worker visa, but after you getting your work permit, you need to consider the real option. What will be your real option to become a permanent resident in the US? Compared to this, L1, it's a different category. If you have a business in Canada and that business has minimum of 3 years of running in Canada, and you have like a financial statement, notes of assessment, and a chart of your organization and everything. You don't need to be very huge or complicated organization. Even a small business can be qualified for this. And then you basically can open a startup business in the US and apply for L1 as L1A or L1B, usually for business owners and for the executive directors and for managers, L1A. Why? Because first of all, you're doing the same. Why? Because the money you're spending for E2 is the same as you're spending for L1. That's one thing. But compared to that, for L1, you have an option to apply for a green card, which is um, EB1C. EB1C category is the best category for applying to become permanent residents. Why? Because of the timing. The It's first of all has a current priority date, which is current. You don't need to wait to apply. It's already it's you can apply right away. But the only thing is you need to get approval as a part of the process. First, you get you should the employer, I mean your own business, had to get approved by USCIS under I 140 petition, and then once you approve, you can apply. Even there is better option. You can apply concurrently, means together. You can apply for adjustment and apply for the petition an immigrant under E13 category for this specific category, and which is the best. One more thing, uh, for worker visa and for L1 visa, if you are applying at the port of the entry, you need to just have all the document with you. That's it. You don't need to apply first for um, file the form I 129 and then apply it again. You don't need that. You need prepare the document. Everything is ready in your hand, and then hand it over to the inspection point, and then they can process your visa application at just at the port of the entry. That things can take maybe 40 minutes or less than 1 hour. So why are you spending like one month, 2 months, or maybe and getting things more complicated? Don't do that. I hope the information I provided here is useful for you, and you have my number and information in caption. Call me for 15-minute free consultation.